Tonight, we dive headfirst into absolute chaos at Ibrox and beyond. Russell Martin on the brink with talk. He might need a helicopter escape if Hearts get their way. Derek McInnes lurking like the ghost of the appointment Rangers never made. A blockbuster transfer link that could see ex-Arsenal and Liverpool star rocking up in Glasgow. And Chris Boyd firing shots as he predicts Brendan Rodgers is finished at Celtic before the summer even arrives. Strap yourself in. This is drama, power, and shockwaves across Scottish football, and you don't want to miss a second. Nicolas Raskin, the Belgian powerhouse who has been at the heart of our midfield, is once again the subject of controversy. Chris Boyd has raised eyebrows by pointing out the knock-on effect of Raskin's absence, particularly on Mohamed Diamande, who has looked a shadow of himself without his partner alongside him. Now, let's not dance around it. Leaving Raskin out of the old firm at Ibrox on the 31st of August was nothing short of baffling. You don't drop your best midfielder, arguably the finest in the whole Scottish Premiership, in a game of that magnitude, unless there's more to the story. And the whispers are that Raskin and Russell Martin aren't seeing eye to eye. The timing couldn't be worse either. Raskin went away with Belgium-partnered Kevin De Bruyne and Yuri Tielemans and bossed the game in a 6-0 victory over Kazakhstan. He played deeper, where he belongs, broke up play, won tackles, dominated duels, and even grabbed a goal. His statistics scream leadership and control in the middle of the park. Yet back in G51, he's being shuffled around like a spare part, or worse, left out altogether. Boyd is right to highlight Diamande's dip in form. When the two played together, they had an understanding, a rhythm, the sort of balance you only get from proper partnerships. Break that up, and you break the spine of the team. It's no wonder performances have dropped. To make matters more intriguing, Raskin himself sent a pointed message during the international break, but it doesn't just depend on me, it depends on the coach. That's a line that speaks volume. No smoke without fire, and you can feel the tension simmering at Ibrox. Martin insists there's no breakdown, calling his relationship with the squad open and honest. But when your best midfielder is hinting otherwise, somebody isn't telling the full story. It feels like a crossroads. Do you back the manager's stubbornness, or do you unleash Raskin where he belongs and let him run the show? Because one thing is certain, Rangers cannot afford to lose a talent like that, not in a season where every point and every performance matters. Would you side with Martin's authority as manager, even if it means leaving Raskin on the sidelines? Or do you think the Belgian has every right to question a coach who benches him for Celtic games? Russell Martin is walking into Ibrox this weekend under the kind of pressure that could snap steel. After a miserable run of 4 straight league draws and only 3 wins in 11 games, the knives are well and truly out, and now the talk isn't about whether he can turn it round, but whether he'll even make it to the front door after the Hearts match. Ryan Stevenson has gone as far as saying Martin might need a helicopter out of Ibrox if the scoreline is still goalless after 25 minutes. Now we're hearing whispers that Derek McInnes, the man who's been linked with the Rangers job countless times before, could once again be in the frame. Ryan Stevenson has gone as far as to say Rangers missed the boat by not appointing him in the first place, and that McInnes could become Martin's worst nightmare as Hearts head to G51 this week. You can picture it already, McInnes marching into Ibrox, desperate to put the boot into a wounded Rangers side while Martin clings onto his job. The brutal truth is, the hierarchy will only tolerate so much. Kevin Thelwell might be giving Martin public backing, but everyone can see how fragile the situation is. If Hearts win at Ibrox and extend their lead, Martin's position could become completely untenable. And here's where it gets spicy. Names are already being thrown around. Jose Mourinho is available After leaving Fenerbahce, and his very presence in Glasgow would send shockwaves through Scottish football. Mark van Bommel even admitted he'd spoken to Rangers before Martin was appointed, so he's another candidate who could resurface. Yet the question lingers, would Rangers really go down the road of McInnes, a man who has always had a soft spot for the club, but never quite been given the keys? There's no hiding from it. Martin is standing on the edge. Ibrox is unforgiving and patience is running thin. If Hearts take the points, the calls for change will be deafening. Would you take Derek McInnes as Rangers manager now if it meant Martin was shown the door? Or do you think going after someone like Mourinho would be the bold, ambitious move this club needs? Now here's one to get you talking. Rangers are being linked with none other than Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, a former Arsenal and a Liverpool star who's just left Besiktas and is available on a free. Yes, you heard that right. Champions League and Premier League medals, a player who shared a dressing room with Mo Salah, Jordan Henderson, and Andy Robertson, possibly walking into Ibrox. Charlie Mulgrew has already called it a big signing, and Stephen McGinn says it would be marquee, and they're right. It would be. We're not talking about a gamble from the lower leagues or a youngster with potential. This is a seasoned professional with experience at the very highest level of football. Of course, there's the knee injury history, and that's a red flag you can't ignore. But let's be honest, if you could get him fit and motivated, Oxlade-Chamberlain could light up Scottish football. He's versatile, he's proven, and he has that aura of someone who has been there and done it. Imagine him striding out at Ibrox, pulling the strings, and reminding defenders in this league that he once ran through Manchester City in Europe like a freight train. Yes, he'll cost a few quid at the club shop if you want his name on the back of your shirt. But that's the point. This is a marquee name, one that would get the whole of Scottish football talking, and more importantly, would send a message across the city to Celtic that Rangers are thinking big. The question is, though, is this the kind of ambitious move Rangers need to make to lift the mood, or would bringing in a player with his injury record be a vanity signing that risks ending up another expensive passenger? Chris Boyd has stuck the boot right into Celtic once again, and this time he's predicting the end of Brendan Rodgers before the season's even finished. According to Boyd, the relationship between Rodgers and the Parkhead hierarchy is done, dusted, and beyond repair. Now, let's remember, Rodgers has form for this. The last time he left, he bolted mid-season for Leicester, leaving Celtic red-faced and raging. He swore blind he'd never do that again, but here we are with insiders whispering that he's trying to engineer another exit. Contract talks, forget it. Boyd says there won't be a deal on the table now, and the only question left is whether Rodgers limps on until the summer or gets shown the door before. It all comes down to transfers. Rodgers wanted more power, more control, and when he doesn't get it, history tells you he walks. Boyd reckons it's now a standoff. Both sides waiting to see who blinks first. Mutual agreement? Mutual consent. We all know that's just polite code for a split, and let's be honest, if Rodgers does leave early, it will be another circus at Parkhead, the so-called stable champions falling apart from the inside while we watch from Ibrox with a smirk. The cracks are there, and they're widening by the day. Would you rather see Rodgers cling on at Celtic and drag them further into turmoil? Or would you rather he jumps ship now and leaves them scrambling for yet another rebuild in the middle of the season? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.